Hey everybody, welcome to Story Time with Mr. Hallum, a chance for us to get together and read a story. Now today we are going to do the true story of the Three Little Pigs by A. Wolfe. It's written by A. Wolfe, but it's as told to John Sazika and illustrated by Lane Smith, okay? So here we have the true story of the Three Little Pigs. All right. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. Just a quick little thing. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolfe. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs, but that's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind builds a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't just want to walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of a pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He'd been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave such a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big old cheeseburger lying there. I was feeling a little better, but still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, Go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Shaving. He was fuzzy. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. You're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell in just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail, Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house, no answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf, and don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. And he probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me a little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. And I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. And that third little pig yelled, And your old granny can go sit on a pin. Rude. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going up to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. They made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. So maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? The true story of the big bad wolf. That's a fun story. I really like it. I like it from the wolf side. He wasn't mean. He just congested. Snuffly. Well, that happens. So, what can you do today? What's your story? How about you tell the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? But maybe it's Goldilocks and she was hungry and needed a place to sleep, or Jack and Jill and they went up the hill and They got some water, and they didn't really fall down the hill. They made a slip and slide and were sliding all over the place. You know, it's your story. You can do what you want to. Thanks for listening. I had a great week. Sorry I missed yesterday. Very busy. End of the school year. Lots of stuff going on. So thank you for that. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday with Story Time with Mr. Hallum.